I love when we get to visit with our great leaders. And I love it even more when they're as great as sportsmen, as great as sports people as Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. Governor Shapiro, it's good to see you.
Man, it is great to be with you. Huge fan and psyched to talk about Philly sports.
Well, you're a great 4-for-4 man. You have great passion for our teams. And what's going on in Citizens Bank Park
Oh my God.
illustrates, right? It's the greatest. And it illustrates how sports builds churches. And if you go to Citizens Bank Park, it's hard not to be indoctrinated.
Without question. And by the way, it's hard not to love this team, and we should talk more about the team. But I do just want to make one broader societal point, and I promise we will only talk about sports. You show up at Citizens Bank Park, you could be sitting next to someone that you've got big disagreements with, someone from a different community, different walk of life, different theory on life. But you know what? You are there in common purpose to freaking love this team and pour your heart and soul in this team. Sports is a beautiful thing. It's got a beautiful way of bringing people together. And the Phillies right now are that team. They are just bringing people together.
I love that you say that because it's been my mantra. I see how our city in Philadelphia gets when teams are winning. We have
Yeah.
smiles. We have love for our neighbor. We have this common goal, and you nail it.
Yeah.
And Phillies and Eagles. Let's get to the Phillies and what's
Yeah.
going on. Having Yohan Duran as your closer. Did you get a chance to
Dude.
see that walk up? Is that
Oh my
incredible
God.
of the Durantula?
My son, our 14-year-old son, Ruben, I've got four. So my youngest, we were watching that first game, hoping the Phils would take the lead so he'd have an opportunity to come in. And I got to tell you, Anthony, I knew about the walkout when he was in Minnesota. I didn't know our guys could get it together that quick. Kudos to the Phillies staff who did that. It was unreal, right? It was just unbelievable. Watching it on TV, I felt the energy. It was incredible. And I was thinking, I said to my son Ruben, I'm like, I don't remember feeling like we had a lights out closer since, I don't know, Brad Lidge, right? I
Yes.
mean, it's
Yes.
that long. We've been doing it by committee. I don't believe closers are by committee. I think you got to give somebody the ball who's just crazy enough to go out there and throw, as Duran did, what was it, 4 pitches, each one of them over. He threw a splitter at like 99. It was
Yes.
unbelievable. It was unbelievable. So I'm so in love with this team. And now I've got confidence in those late innings with Duran that the bullpen's going to be able to hold this up. And by the way, we haven't sort of needed over the last few games. We're pretty good in the 7th and 8th inning now, too. Like, I think
Yes.
we're lined up pretty well.
Yeah, because he brings, like you said, you got a guy that actually is a real closer. So
Yeah,
that brings back Kirkering and Strom to give you the
right,
7th and 8th inning, and it just makes everybody better, especially with this rotation. But a little
right.
backstory: the Twins people that they spent 500 hours putting that together, they gave it to the Phillies for the good of the game, which I thought was beautiful.
Really? Wow. Honestly, I assumed the Phils had to pay
Right.
for whatever the licensing is or whatever. That's pretty awesome. That's a great statement about baseball. I think that's very cool.
It
I think
is.
that's
It's
very
it's fantastic. And you mentioned this stuff. I mean, when you're throwing 98, 99 splitters, and then Sunday night, he's getting
He's at
103,
103. He was,
102. Yes.
by the way, Anthony, not once, like over and over and over again. And he got cheated. I thought one of those pitches caught the corner and he didn't
Yes.
get the call. So he got cheated on one of those. I'll tell you what else I think is very, very cool is I think it would have been his first game, the one where he threw like 4 pitches. And after the game, I think Barkham and those guys were interviewing Schwarbs because I mean,
Yeah.
what night isn't Schwarber the MVP? And Schwarbs was talking about how psyched he was to see Duran walk out like that. And like to see the other players get excited like that, that's very cool. Like, so it's not just the fans like us, it's the other players being excited. And there's like an intangible going on with this team. There's like something there that's unique. Obviously, the Birds had it last year. Winning clubs have that, and it just feels like the Phils have it.
They do, and that was it. Like his presence when Dave Dombrowski acquires him, it was like, all
Yeah,
right, we're fortified now, and I think that belief
yeah,
spread through the clubhouse. And I think to a man in the clubhouse and to all of us fans, we all can imagine October and an October day when
yeah.
he comes out and that ballpark roars. I think it's going to be a special moment.
Ugh. Is there anything better than being at Citizens Bank Park? It was kind of a warm day, but then at night you throw the Phillies
Yes,
hoodie on because it's,
yes.
it's like 50, 60 degrees. The bank is rocking. The rotation is just like we're in order, we're lined up. The bats are working. I mean, look, that's been our problem the last couple of seasons. The bats go cold in that second series, but there's nothing better in that environment. And now to know that the bullpen solidified, I think particularly once Nola comes back, I don't know of a better starting rotation in the majors. And again, you don't have to pitch five guys, you got to pitch four when you get to the playoffs. And as long as these bats stay moving and we stay, injury free, it's a lot of ifs. I don't know that there's another team out there that can beat us right now. I feel really, really good.
And you brought up Schwarbs. How about the MVP case that he's making? It feels like every other night, two last night, including the Grand Slam to break it open. He's got 40
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
94 ribbies.
It's incredible. I think what Shohei's sitting on like 38, maybe 37,
Yep.
38. He's actually ahead of Shohei, I think, other than maybe, at batting average. Uh, Look, it's hard to say anything negative about Shohei. He's like an incredible
Yeah.
player. I don't know. I could make a very strong case that Schwarbs is the MVP. He is the heart and soul of this team right now. And it's incredible. It's truly incredible. And by the way, to be the heart and soul of an offense where you've got Bryce Harper, you've got Trey Turner, you've got JT. I mean, you've got some big bats, some big egos, some big dudes out there who are incredible. And for Schwarbs to be kind of leading in that way,
Yeah.
that's pretty special. And by the way, it also says a lot about Harp and these other guys that they're willing to share some of the glory and share some of the leadership here.
And I think that this group, they feel it. They get it. Like
Yeah.
they want to win. They need to win. And, you got a lot of talent there, and I think that's all kind of been emboldened. And Schwarber, as loud as he is at the plate, is as quiet and beautiful he is inside the clubhouse because
Yeah.
he's one that keeps everybody together. They love him. Everybody I talk to loves Schwarber.
Loves him. He really just seems like an incredible guy and a great presence in the clubhouse. I'll tell you something else I've noticed about this team. Um, I think John Middleton is one of the best owners in all of sport. And by the way, I would argue we're pretty damn lucky to have him, Jeffrey Lurie. Like we've got owners
Yeah.
that care about winning and
Yep.
care about the cities they're in. Middleton has spent, some could argue, kind of stupid money, and I don't mean that in any way negative. Like he is it's almost like an irrational spend in the sense that he's
Yeah.
spending more, right? He is spending, this is coming out negative. I mean it only as a positive. Like he is investing in this team winning. And he's doing it in a way that puts money on the field instead of extra money in his pocket. And I think this city understands that
Oh yeah.
this is a owner that wants to win. I'll tell you who else understands that. These players seem to understand it. They understand that the owner went out and invested the money. Dombrowski went out and put the pieces together. And there's no excuses. It's on them to win. And I think they feel that responsibility to
Yes.
John Middleton, to the city, and to do this in a way that brings a championship, back, brings a World Series trophy back. And I think that's special. I realize my words probably came out as a negative on John. I
No,
meant
no,
it
no,
only
no.
as a
You're
positive.
listen.
This
He's
guy's
the one.
investing.
John Middleton is the one who said "stupid money." Right. That was his quote. He's
Yeah,
also the one
yeah,
that said, "I'll do whatever it takes to get our trophy back." You love
yes.
that. You love that
Love it.
about him.
Love it. You love it. And you love having an owner that loves the game, loves the city, wants to win, wants to compete.
Yeah.
Um, I imagine, when you get those angry calls after the Phillies lose, right? Because they love this team, whatever. I bet John feels it 10 times as much as those angry
Exactly.
callers because he's so into. I so appreciate the kind of quality leadership we have with guys like him and Jeffrey and others. I mean, they want to win.
Hey,
It's pretty
but
amazing.
before we get to the Eagles, I got to ask you, I go
Yeah.
deeper into the rotation because you brought up the
Yeah. Yeah.
rotation and you're a baseball guy. Wheeler, and what about Christopher Sanchez, who has
Oh my
become
God.
a co-ace with Zach?
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is clear that he learned over the last couple of years. I, I would assume Wheeler had a lot to do with this. He got his command far more under control. He added a couple or 3 miles per hour on his
Yeah.
pitches, which I think has really helped him. He's not afraid to go deep in a game the way Wheels is. And there seems to be, and I watch this with, look, I see it in my business, I see it with leaders in other sectors and athletes. There's a level of calmness to him. And I think when you have someone performing at the top of their game in whatever field they're in and they can maintain a level of calm and focus, that's that intangible thing. And so he's got that. And I think, look, Wheels is sort of the expert on that, right? And Wheels has been able to, I think, have that effect on him. And I think it's pretty special.
It is, and just like you said, so calm.
Yeah,
You could just see his he never has never agitated on the mound. His
yeah,
delivery as a lefty, it reminds me of Carlton in a lot of ways because he has an effortless delivery. You
yeah,
said it. He added velo, which I think was key to everything because now
yeah.
he's at 96, 97, and everything works off of that.
Yeah, without question. I mean, look, I don't know how you do that, but to be a pro performing at a pretty high level
Yeah.
and figure out how to get your command even better and how to add a couple, 3, 4 miles an hour. I don't know how you do that. I mean, I think it's just incredible what he's been able to do. And if he can stay healthy, and again, Nola comes back and Nola can be in there, you've got four incredible pitchers and
Yeah.
the ability to go deep if you need to.
Yeah, and Luzardo has been working through adversity of his last couple starts.
Yeah,
Last night ran into a little trouble with the home runs, got it right back, finished
yeah,
strong. Would have came out for the seventh. They just didn't need him to. So your rotation is so deep. You got Ranger, who, if you need him to come out of the bullpen like you did before, speaking of
right.
someone who's always calm, is Ranger. So you got all that flexibility to help you for the playoffs.
Yeah, if you can put Ranger in the bullpen for the playoffs, and let's say you got a problem, you need to bring somebody in the fifth inning or something, somebody blows up. He really has the ability to do that for you. And again, to the point we were talking about before, you get to the eighth, you got Strom, you got Kirkring, and then of course it's lights out in the ninth. So I think we've got a lot of flexibility with our arms. And again, John Middleton spent the money. Dave Dombrowski went out and put the team together, and now these guys seem to be having fun. They're loose, and they got to just go win.
You know, it's going to be fun, the playoffs, because I think there's 6 National League teams that have all gone in. They've separated themselves. So it's us, the Phils, and the Mets, Cubs,
Yeah,
Milwaukee, Dodgers, San Diego,
yeah,
and like all those teams. Interesting storylines. But it's the Mets again. Us and the Mets. You can just see it.
it's crazy. Look, I mean, I grew up hating the Mets. I still hate the Mets. Talk about spending crazy money. I mean, their salaries are just unbelievable on that team. And look, they're a good team. They're going to be in the hunt there. I think the question is, do we get that bye, which, you know, candidly hasn't been the best thing in Major League Baseball to have, sort of have all those days off. Where do we go in? Hopefully we go in as a division winner, not as a wild card. But I think this team is going to be prepared, and hopefully they go in hot and injury free and stay hot.
All right, I can't let you go, Governor Shapiro, without talking about the defending champs who begin Thursday night. We have
I
our first
know.
game. From here, hopefully through February, outside of a bye week, we will have Eagles football every week.
It's amazing. Amazing. By the way, you talked before about how a city feels when their team is playing well. You saw that when the Birds, you know, got on that hot roll after what were they 2-2 and then just ripped off a bunch of wins in a row. I mean, the psychology of the city changed. You can feel the psyche, the psychology of the city now change with the Phils. I think once the Birds get back going again, pick up where they left off, you're just going to feel that added oomph. And I think, it's kind of for two reasons, right? One, we're a tough and gritty city with a chip on our shoulders. And so I think we're just naturally like that. But two, I mean, for guys like us, we lived through the lean years.
Yes.
Saw when they weren't winning, when other cities were winning. And so we never take this for granted. We are hungry and we want more. And I had the opportunity to be with Vic Fangio the other day, who, by the way, is a Pennsylvania guy, grew up in northeastern
That's
Pennsylvania.
right. And a
And
big
he was
Phillies
telling
fan.
big Phillies fan. He was telling me that on the bus ride from the hotel in New Orleans to the charter to go back to Philly. So this is, I don't know, whatever, less than 24 hours after the Super Bowl, he and Howie were already talking about the next season. I mean, that shows that these guys aren't resting on their laurels from last year. They want, be exciting to see the banner come out at the link, but they're focused already on next year. And I think that says a lot about this team. A lot.
It's the truth. I mean, what Howie's done building this team,
Yeah,
this
incredible.
defense is all under 25 years old. There's one, Zach Bone's the only player who's over 25, which is astounding considering how dominant this defense can be.
It's incredible. They are young. They're hungry. Hell, even in the Super Bowl, there were guys making tackles, and I'm like, wait, who was that? Right? I mean, they're just they got guys who can just come at you from so many different directions. And you know, I got no inside scoop here, but I'll tell you what, Howie could even figure out how to grab Micah Parsons and bring him back to Pennsylvania where he belongs. So that would make our defense even better. That's it.
That would be the greatest. How
Can
about
you imagine? Oh
you
my God.
mentioned real quick Jeffrey Lurie, and I just want to say this because we lived through the Norman Brayman years. That was our formative.
Yeah.
We were young when we
Yeah.
became Eagle fans, and now we have the best organization in the entire NFL. How
The
great is
best.
that?
The best, by the way, the best in terms of putting a squad on the field. They run themselves professionally as an organization, as a business. The owner puts money back in to the team, right? They care about the community around them. I mean, what Jeffrey and Tina have done and Christina have done for autism has been unbelievable. I mean, Jeffrey and Tina were just with my wife Lori with that massive announcement that they made at CHOP the other day. I mean, God bless them. The work that they're
Yep.
doing to help people with autism is amazing. They care about the world around them. They care about their city. They care about their, being in the business of making championships. And that's a really unique thing. And we should feel blessed in the city of Philadelphia to have a guy like that who gives a damn about winning and to have folks like Howie with him. By the way, to also have a guy like Jalen Hurts on the field, the manager on the field, if you will. I mean, this is a guy who is an extraordinary leader, just an extraordinary leader. I remember after I had the privilege of riding on one of those buses during the parade, and just to be clear, Anthony, folks were way more excited to see the Eagles than they were to see me, but it was a privilege to be there. And after the buses came around and we were getting ready to go out on the steps, Jalen Hurts and I were chatting. He was just in the corner, quietly with his thoughts, thinking about leadership, talking about leadership with me privately, and thinking about how to continue to grow as a man and as a player and as a human being. And to me, someone like that is not only a supreme talent. And by the way, it was bullshit that he was left off that top 10 list. I mean,
That's right.
he's easily 1, 2, 3 in the NFL. But he's just an incredible leader as a man, and lifting himself and his teammates up through his work ethic, his discipline, his mental toughness. I think that is extraordinarily important when it comes time to not just winning NFL games, but winning them deep into December and January.
Governor Shapiro, I can go all day with you. You're the best, man. You really are.
Thanks.
Go
Uh,
Birds, go Phils.
Go Birds, go Phillies. Hey, listen, next time I want to come on, we got to talk about my other love, which is the Sixers. I don't know, man. I'm a little
Man, we
worried.
need you. All right, we need
Uh,
some help here. We
we
got to
need
get
to.
Joel's knee right.
I know. I mean, literally the most talented person in the NBA. We just need him to be healthy. We need him
Yep.
to be healthy. We need him to be focused. And I love the VJ Edgecombe pick. I think we've got one of the most dynamic backcourts in the NBA with McCain and obviously Maxey. Hopefully, Paul George has a little something left in the tank. Not sure I would have given him the contract, but whatever.
Yeah,
And
I'm with you.
we we need these guys to win. This is the time. We gotta win now. So
And don't
I'm
sleep on the Flyers. Flyers are on the rebuild.
on the rise. They're
Leachkoff
on the
is
rise.
good. They're going to be really good.
Yeah. By the way, another example. I mean, a legendary franchise. I mean, you see Brian Roberts and and Dan and others putting real resources back in this team. They got some good young talent, good coach, good GM. I think Briere is really doing a nice job there. Seems to want to win. So yeah, I mean, I think they're on the upswing. I got a question mark next to the Sixers. I think the up arrow is pointing to for the Flyers. And obviously the Phils and the Birds are just, I mean, they're just on fire right now. So I keep telling my kids, man, you guys are spoiled. I lived through the lean years with you, and they're pretty damn lucky. We all are right now.
You got that right. I'll see you in Red October, right?
Can't wait. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. That hoodie weather, the
Yes.
Phillies, you got the hat
The
on, you're at the
best.
bank. It's incredible. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Th-
So
Thanks for everything. You're the greatest, man.
great to be with you, man. Thank you. We'll talk again soon.